Why would you want to be a Jett? Why would you want to have the fastest walking speed in the game? And why would you also want to have the best mobbing rearranging skill in the game? Well, you know what? I'm going to show you why you might actually want this. So, in the beginner tab, there's only two notable skills. One that sends you back to the spaceship, which, I've never actually used it. So when you use it, you get sent back to your home base, which if you talk to this NPC right here, they can send you to any town, well, almost any town. So I mean, there's that. Or if you leave through this portal, it'll send you back to Nautilus Harbor. And the other skill, Retro Rockets, which just improves your movement speed as well as makes your movement speed go 30 above the max. And it gives you jump. Alright, so let's move into first job. Starline 1. This is pretty much your main mobbing skill for first job. You know what, I don't need buffs, it's okay. And it hits pretty fast. It's not like super strong or anything, but it at least hits, I believe, 8 enemies. So that makes it a, it hits 8 enemies 3 times, so makes it a decent mobbing skill. Oh, there's a rock over there. And then you also get, what was this skill called? Blaster Barrage, which is pretty much a first job rapid fire. But it only hits 1 enemy, which is why I say you don't really use it for mobbing, because it doesn't mob. But you can move left and right with it. And I guess if an elite spawns, you can always use this to kill it. Next we have Spacewalk, which used to be a great flash jump. Has a great design to it, definitely. Used to also be able to jump vertically with it, but now it's like, you might as well not even use it for that, it's so bad. But it's the flash jump. You can hold up while using it in order to flash jump up. But they really nerfed it, they destroyed this flash jump, and I don't like that at all. Vortex jump. So this will teleport you forward a certain distance, unless there's an enemy there, in which case you'll just teleport to the enemy and do an attack. You can actually cancel certain skills with this. So this is a later skill, but well, I guess I'll show you what skills later on, but you can use it to just move around while you're doing certain skills. So yeah, there's that. It's honestly not worth it. I know this isn't a video for me to like say what I want this class to have, but if this was like a backstep or you can like hold a certain direction to move, like a teleport basically, then this would be useful. But otherwise it's just not great. Let's see. Well, I guess in first job, because you can teleport to monsters directly, it's alright, but I don't like it. So next we have 2 passives. This one increases your maximum movement speed to 155%. Now you have a max of 185 speed, which is, I believe, the fastest in the game. And, you also attack a little bit farther with your attacks. And then this one just gives you +2 attack speed. So it's basically your booster. So now you can attack faster. Next we have Starline 2, which you can use after Starline 1, but only, well, not really only, but you can just press the attack key multiple times to automatically go into using it. However, you're not really going to be using that. At least I didn't. You can also just use it by itself if you want to. But then we have Stellar Impact. And Stellar Impact launches enemies into the air. Honestly, not good. It's just not useful. It's basically Shockwave, but it launches into the air. It's not good. Vortex Cross. So this will teleport you forward, doing a bit of damage. I don't think it's a lot of damage, though. Yeah, it's not that strong. But, I mean, it's good for mobility. And I believe you can press it twice. I don't remember if it's only in third job you can start pressing it twice, or if it's second job, but yeah. You can also teleport up. So, that's good. You can also teleport down. I don't know why you would want to, unless you want to get to a certain spot faster, I guess. And then Bounty Chaser is another one of your buffs. Just gives you 25% damage and 20% crit rate. This one's a passive, but it makes your first skill a little bit stronger. Or a lot stronger, actually. So yeah, you can, you know, kill elites faster now. Still doesn't mob. Let's see, and then the others are passive. So I'll just hover over them so you can see. So here you get 20% stance. So you might be asking, how do you mob with, what do you call it, Jett in second job then? I kept using the punch. Honestly, I just kept using the punch. It was the best option for me. It's fast, it gets the job done, enemies at those levels aren't really that strong anyway, until you get to Drakes, in which case you can use whatever skill you want, but I mainly just use Starline 1. If you're strong enough, like if you're actually like really funded, you can just use Vortex Cross to one-shot everything. Alright, so next we have third job. And in third job you get Starline 3. And with Starline 3, you remember how Starline 2 you push enemies away? Well, with Starline 3, you then push yourself, you then push yourself to the enemies. And also push them as well, again. It's weird. But this is like the most damaging of all of them, I think. So it's it's a good skill. If you couldn't one-hit Drakes before, you're going to be one-hitting them with that. I mean, when you max it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I should also mention that each Starline that you learn boosts the previous one. Alright, so Falling Stars, never used it. It's just, that's what it is. I mean, you can use it if you want. It's fine, but I never used it. And then we have Turret Deployment, which summons a little, like, beetle turret thing to shoot people. Cosmic Upheaval. This is my favorite Jett skill. Now, its damage is terrible. It is the weakest attack that you have, doing only 70% damage at level 4. It's so weak, but when you see what it does, it's the best mobbing rearranging skill in the game. So you see how there's enemies up there? Well, you can drag them down to the bottom, right in front of you. So it's great for just rearranging mobs to where you want to fight them. So I could literally just make every monster on the bottom row, if I wanted to. That's the only reason I really like it. Anyway. Oh, and they also have to be behind you. It does not work if they're in front of you. So let's say I want to try to move this guy. Well, then I move that guy, but... Hold on, let me, here we go. So if I try to move this guy, nothing happens. They do have to be behind you, and then it drags them in front of you. And as you see, the range of it is insane. Next we have Slipstream Suit, which just gives you 45% dex. You get an upgrade to Spatial Shift. This allows you to use it in the air. So now you can, you know, do that, or something like that. However, if you want to do a double vertical jump, you do have to wait a little bit. You have to, like, delay your second one. You have to wait until you're falling before you can use it again. Or else if you just spam it, you go across, and you don't want that usually. So use it, delay it, and then use it again. I know it sucks, but, I mean, it's what we gotta deal with. This is Jett, after all. Alright, so next we have... Oh, also, yeah, you can use it down, I guess, whatever. And then we have some passives, so I'm gonna let you guys read it. And moving on to fourth job, we have Starline 4, the final upgrade. So now you have the full combo. So after you do Starline 3, it'll, like, dash through the enemies, kind of? I mean, sorta? I don't like this whole combo that they have. It's never been my kind of thing. Like, it doesn't feel... It feels clunky. But, I mean, it's there. And it does pretty good damage, although Starline 3 does more damage. Yeah, it just does more damage. So you pretty much won't be using this ever. Anyway, so then we have our actual bossing skill, which is pretty much the first job skill that, you know, hit one enemy, but it's much better. It hits much faster, it's flashier, and yeah, it's the same thing. You can move left and right with it, and it's pretty strong. 300% per shot. Okay, so worse than Corsair, but still pretty alright. And then we have your main mobbing skill. And you may be thinking, main mobbing skill, that looks terrible. I'm gonna just use all my buffs so I don't die. But, yeah, I'll show you. So, when you hold it down, it's useless. It doesn't do a lot of damage, it's pretty bad, it only hits in front of you. But when you let go, it creates an explosion that is your main mobbing skill. And it does massive damage. Like, it rivals a later skill that's, like, your strongest skill. And speaking of that strongest skill, Planet Buster does a whole lot of damage. Like, it's so strong! And you can also cancel it with whatever that teleport skill is called. But like I said, since there's an enemy in front of you, you're not really going to be getting far with it. But you can do it. So let me go back to the mobbing. Well, no, I'll show the mobbing when I get to the mobbing. God, that skill. Okay, so Hero's Will cures you of abnormal status. Doesn't say anything about giving you invincibility afterwards to abnormal. Then we get Starfall. You guys might remember this from when they were able to spam it because of a glitch or some kind of change or something. Yeah, it's not good. It has a long cooldown of 60 seconds. Only hits 3 times, doing like 1,000-something% damage, but the only time you would really use it is when you're, I don't know, you just want to clear the map or something. But it doesn't do anything special, it just does damage. Actually, now that I look at it, it does a lot of damage, but it's only 3 times. Then we have Maple Warrior, which gives you and your party 15% all stats. High Gravity, which is another buff, gives you 25 all stats, 20% crit rate, and 50% stance. So now you have 70% stance. And that's pretty much all you get in terms of stance. Let's see. Oh, this is an upgrade, like an addition to your main bossing skill. So when you're rapid firing, you'll see that a bunch of lines pop up, and that has a 10% chance to happen. It's pretty much you calling your like guy to help you, and it has a 10% chance to happen, so it's kind of RNG based. But when it does happen, especially if it happens in a row, you can clear things pretty quickly. It's actually very good. I mean, when it happens like that. Otherwise, not really. Does 10 lines. Let's see. Then we got passives. Don't let the name fool you. This is not giving you invincibility. It just gives you 11% damage, 40% HP, and some defense and some other stuff. So moving on to hyper passives, we have your mobbing skill. I increase the damage by 20%. Don't care about the mobs hit. I increase the number of lines it does by 1, which includes the explosion. For Planet Buster, all I did was increase the lines by 1. Although you don't... I mean, you can always change this out for increasing the range on the bossing skill, but I didn't really find that too useful since it's long enough range. But anyway, I increased the lines of Planet Buster, so now it hits 6 times. The bossing skill, I increased the damage, and I increased the boss damage. Moving on to Active Hypers. Bionic Maximizer. Increases your HP by 40%, and reduces the damage you take by 15%. Singularity Shock. It doesn't say it in the skill, but it actually gives you invincibility, I don't believe to percent HP attacks, I haven't actually tried it. But to normal attacks it definitely does. So as you can see, I'm taking damage. Oops, I didn't put it on my keyboard. I usually have it on that key. Alright, so yeah, once I use it, you can see I'm not taking damage anymore. You can also use, you know, that teleport skill that was in first job. You can also use that with this. So you can, like, if there's no enemies in the way, you can just teleport away, keeping your invincibility. But as you see, it does a lot of damage on one enemy. Let's see, it hits them 15 times for 1,000 damage, and the final hit does 400% damage and also pushes them away, if they survive it. So yeah, it also has a 100% crit rate, and a very low cooldown of 7 seconds. And lastly, we have Epic Adventure, which just gives you and any other explorer in your party 10% damage, which also stacks with them. So now let me show you the mobbing, and then yeah, I'll move on to the boss. So the mobbing is very simple. You use Cosmic Upheaval, and then you spam Backup Beatdown, I think it was called. Because Cosmic Upheaval will bring the enemies to you, and then Backup Beatdown is just so strong that it'll just destroy everything. So yeah, that's pretty much how I mobbed with the Jett. If you're really, really, really strong, you can actually use this instead. But I don't one-hit these guys, or even two-hit them with this. So I found it to be less useful than just Cosmic Upheaval and then spamming Backup Beatdown. When I say spam, I don't mean like, you know, just don't hold it down, is what I'm trying to say. Because if you hold it down, it's not doing enough damage. It kills them a lot slower. So yeah. Let's move on to the bossing. So I forgot to mention something about this skill. So when you use it once, remember how you could use it twice? If you want to do a vertical jump, or a vertical version of it, you can't actually do it after the first one. You have to use the first one to do it. So you can't just go like that and then hold up and do it. It'll just make you go straight. That's pretty much all I forgot to mention. Another thing that I learned literally just now is that you can in fact teleport backwards. With what was that skill called? The one that teleports you. I just learned that. I was holding back and I was like, will this work? And turns out it does. So anyway. So I guess it is... I mean, it's still not super useful, but it's better than what I thought it was. So I'm able to, like, teleport backward. Actually, I guess since he's still there, it's not allowing me to teleport very far. So maybe it's still not useful. I guess if you're one-hitting the enemy, you can teleport farther, especially if there's nothing behind you. But, yeah, it's not that great. I don't usually record my whole dojo run, but, I just had extra stuff to say. Alright, so let me go ahead and rebuff. So, when bossing with Jett, you summon your little guy, the little beetle guy, and then hope that RNG is on your side. Because you're going to hope for the 10 extra lines pretty much every time that you're attacking. And that's pretty much Jett's bossing. You just use this and hope that the 10 lines activate a lot. If you want the invincibility, like, okay, so you see how this is a ranged attack, right? Well, if you want to use this skill, you have to be very close to the enemy. Like, so close that it's not even worth... Like, this class needs a recoil shot. Or some kind of, like... So you could, like... God, there's so much I want to be done with this class, but... This isn't supposed to be like a... This is what I want for this class. But, like, use this, teleport back, and then just... there's so much that could be done. Like, when using, the 170 hyper, just teleport in, use this, and then be able to teleport out. That would be ideal. But that's not how it is, so whatever. Also fix the flash jump. But anyway, yeah, that was Jett. Very underrated class, but for good reason. It's not really that great in terms of how it plays, its damage, or anything like that. But it's just, it has a long way to go. I really do hope that this class gets better. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.